Okay, welcome back to part 2 of my Battle of Adrianapole. Last time I defended as the Goths against the Roman army led by Emperor Valens, and this time I will fight as Rome and try and capture or kill all the Gauls, all the Goths. If you remember last time, as the Goths, I utterly destroyed the Roman army. I took about 80 casualties and almost completely wiped them out. Hopefully I'll do a little bit better this time. However, the history is against me. Not only have I not changed history before, but history itself is against me. This is just not a good fight for me. Lots and lots of cavalry, lots of everything. It's going to be horrible. I'm going to be tempted to go into the middle early on, and that's not what I want to do. We've already seen what happens. If not, watch the previous video. It's a bit of a bloodbath. And unlike most Roman armies, I think I'm going to have to fight with my general a fair amount, and the general might die. It's not too concerning, but it's not something that I want to be doing. I'm going to put all my starter units in attacking testudos, mainly because there's an awful lot of missile units in the Gothic army. Let's just group all them, and let's get this show on the road without any further ado. So as we can see, they're all inside, being who they are, and they're just wandering around, and I see they've decided not to move their cavalry out of the camp, although that could happen at any moment. So what am I going to do? Well, I'm going to split my forces. I'm going to send 4 units towards the front. I'm going to send 4 units around the left flank. My velites are going to stay in the middle, and my cavalry are going to initiate the attack on the right hand flank. So all in all, it's a different tactic to that used by both Valens. Well, it's a similar tactic used by Valens, and a different tactic used by the computer in the last game. Well, the Romans on the left here are going to have a long walk all the way around the back. So what I might end up doing is going around the back with the cavalry. Then this block of 4 here might end up going through this middle entrance here, and these guys can go straight on. So what do I think is going to happen? I think that I think I'm going to do what I usually do and put too many men in one assault, not enough in another, and I'm going to miss the key engagement, which is what I'm most afraid of. I'm also afraid that I'm going to allow their cavalry to run riot, which is really not going to be good. So far, actually, I don't really know where their cavalry is. I can see a unit of them here, noble horse there. In fact, there's quite a lot of them there. It looks like they're concentrating their defences in one area, which seems fairly sensible. To be honest, the Romans are fairly slow. I'm going to speed this up a bit. Little testudos are far too slow for my liking. The general himself is an aggressive general, so keeping him with the rest of the army is less useful. If he was a more defensive general, then I would have been able to use him as more of a support type buffing general, but it's not going to be possible at the moment. So as we can already see, the birds are circling, the cavalry is moving out. Let's just slow the game down a bit. Let's allow them to get the normal speed. And it looks like we've got a unit of spear warriors here heading out to try and tempt me in. I don't want to go in just yet. These guys aren't in the right place. I'm not ready to attack just yet. However, I am quite willing to take any missiles that they throw at me. I don't think they'll kill much. The Romans are pretty awesome. The velites I'm going to use specifically on this front entrance. This is going to be my main hitting entrance. So what's that? That's just units of spear warriors. They're mainly looking to defend this area. I would imagine this area is perhaps an attacking area, judging by the amount of units they have here. My cavalry, I'm just going to keep moving them around, just keep them guessing where I'm going to attack. Yep, just forcing them to make more movement, spread out their forces, dramatically increases the chance of any individual assault working. It's no great surprise they haven't come out yet. I wouldn't expect them to. It's a fantastic defensive position. The only thing I would say perhaps is that it's like both one is perhaps a little bit thin, but everything behind it's horrible. So put some Celtic warriors in there. So it looks like they're trying to defend the side with spear warriors and that side with the main body of the army. These guys are just slowly moving into position. Speed it up again. Don't want it to be too dull. These guys, I'll shift them forward, probably a unit length. Cavalry are almost in the right place. See, the great thing is that I don't have to worry about any hidden cavalry, because I know they're all inside. Now, I think it's just about time to get this show on the road, and let's see how we do. So I'm going to send 3 units of Romans around this side. I'm going to send 1 unit of Romans around this side. The velites are going to have to go here. That's the far and away the most sensible place for it. I'm going to send 2 units of Romans into this gap. And I'm going to send 2 units of Romans into this gap. See, you weren't expecting that now, were you? So, I'm also going to feign a charge with my cavalry, I think. See if that does anything. Looks like nothing. Although they are going to try and shoot at him, so I'm just going to move them away. No need to take any unnecessary casualties. So now my velites are making the best of their speed, and they should be firing into, well, just generally into the goths. I think hitting units of spear warriors is a good idea, although perhaps not. Maybe the best thing to do is to hit and aim for maybe the skirmishers. Yeah, that's probably the best thing to do. So a few Romans, no Romans dying yet. It shows how good the testudo formation is. So we're going to send them in 1 unit at a time, 1 from each side. We're not going to overdo it. These 2 units, however, these are going to charge in. These guys are going to charge in, these guys are going to go slowly. So these 2 are going to go for use the whip. Now, the key thing about this tactic is not to engage too many guys at a time, because there's only a narrow entrance. I'm not going to be able to get too much in the way of Romans in any one time. I'm in testudo formation, I can hold. Now the important thing is that they can't go around the back, and they can't at the moment. Cavalry's in a perfect position to... Actually, I'm going to go and hit the noble horse right here. I'm going to force them to do something. There they are, yeah, everything's moving, and I'm going to run away again. Just make sure they all get out. So these 2 units of Romans here are quite content to be fighting. Well, it's a fair number. However, this is the main point that we need to be aiming for. These units of Hastati are the ones that need to be pushing forward, I think. This is the best chance that I have. Also, it appears that I'm taking down the wall, which I did not know that you could do, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to break open the wall as best I can. If I can set it on fire, that's fantastic. The men are wavering, so what do we do when the men waver? We send in 1 more unit of Hastati. That's how this is going to work. That's how I'm going to try and make this happen. I'm not going to engage too much. I'm not going to overextend. I am going to try and... Right, now we've got another gap. We can push forwards again. This is going to be my strategy. I'm going to try and break open as much as possible, and then I can start pushing through in greater numbers, and that's what I'm trying to do here. Still, these Hastati are fighting very bravely over here. I wouldn't expect them to hold up too much longer. However, they are definitely holding their own, although they're not looking too happy. A few more units are actually routing now. That's not good at all. This gate's down, so now these guys can charge in. And I'm almost falling into the trick there. I'm not going to attack this unit because it's far too strong in the front. I'm going to go through and I'm going to come from behind. I hope they don't run before I can do stuff. As you can see, it's clearly not an easy battle to win this. It's very much in the favour of the Gauls. However, I do seem to have a foothold inside now, and that's what I'm going to try and do. All the infantry available are going to head inside now, and that's what I'm going to try and push towards. My cavalry are coming in. This is what needs to happen right now. So I'm just going to go generally, just try and pop all my abilities. This is where the battle is going to be won and or lost. It's a general meat grinder in there. I've got inside. I'm not going to get I'm not going to get surrounded from the outside. It's now just a fight that these units of Hastati have to win, and it's now just down to are my units big enough to survive the amount of time required to hold them off. I have got units coming back. I am trying to pressure them as best I possibly can. However, it's still looking fairly grim at the moment. A few units are wavering here and there, and actually now my Romans are starting to look a lot better in this. The infantry can all get up and use the whip. That's excellent. My missile units are still there, throwing stuff in. So I'm 100% certain I've done better than the computer did. That's all I needed. These guys are going to try and attack from this side now. I'm going to try and group up over here. This is where I need to attack from, so these guys need to move. Still have plenty of units in here, and now I'm starting to make them waver a bit more. I'm going to go for an intimidate, see if I can find their general. He's in range. Now I'm going to go for the morale dump on him. Now all the missile units that I've got, I'm going to try and push onto that. I'm going to try and get that unit of Oathsworn down and dead. However, lots of things are starting to rout now. Not looking as good. Still got a few units of Hastati in here fighting bravely. These units of Hastati fighting bravely. It's still fairly brutal, this combat. I'm not sure I'm going to win it. What I am certain of is that I've done better than before. Yeah, my cavalry's routed now. It's looking fairly bleak. I've just got a unit of whatever they are. Velites left. So although I've lost, and again there are a lot of Goths there, a lot of Goths are running. And it was only a close defeat. Let's see how many guys I actually killed. There we go. I killed 1,100, lost 1,200. In the end, I think that's not too bad considering I was both outnumbered and I had a worse position. Join me again for the next installment of my historical battles, and see you then.